Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral for the Queer God Squad. Joining me today, and most days, are Bishop Robert Griffin, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Now in support of our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community.
There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world. In 2026, we are celebrating the 41st anniversary of Hotspots magazine, with Queer News Tonight sharing over 14,000 stories and 12 million views so far.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. High Court rules that Kenyan law does not necessarily prohibit alteration of gender markers on documents. The Kenyan High Court issued a landmark ruling on March 20th, declaring that Kenyan law does not expressly prohibit the alteration of sex or gender markers on official documents, in a decision expected to shape future policy and constitutional interpretation on identity rights. In a judgment delivered on Tuesday, Justice Bahati Mwamuye found that the refusal by state agencies to amend the documents of transgender activist Audrey Mbugua Ithibu violated constitutional guarantees on equality, dignity, privacy, freedom of expression, and fair administrative action. The court held that the denial to alter birth certificates, national identity cards, and passports exposed the petitioners to harassment, forced disclosure of private information, and difficulties in accessing essential services. The petition was brought forward by prominent transgender activist Audrey Mbugua Ithibu, alongside other co-petitioners who challenged the systematic refusal of state bureaus to process these changes. The court agreed that completely blocking or refusing to consider these applications violates fundamental Bill of Rights guarantees, specifically naming equality, dignity, privacy, and fair administrative action. The High Court ordered relevant state agencies to receive, consider, and determine Audrey Mbugua's application within 60 days, establishing that administrative gaps or a lack of explicit policy cannot be used by the state to suspend a citizen's constitutional rights. Kenya is a tough place for LGBTQ people, and the United States has been and was and is becoming tough again. And of course, Uganda is really hard, and Jamaica and Saudi Arabia and so on, some places in Eastern Europe. But what is encouraging is that where you have a constitution, where you have a state governed by laws, you can work with those laws. You can get legal experts to help you, and you can make, presuming the courts aren't stacked with ideologues and partisan hacks, but even then sometimes you get some stuff through, because the law is the law and legal experts are legal experts. And sometimes, even despite themselves, they have to do what's right because it, it's in the thing, it's in the Constitution. So I'm glad that they're using the law to expand the interpretation of the law to be more inclusive of more people. I hope that catches on, maybe even in this country.
Yeah, how about that? Maybe in this country. It is amazing to me that there are so many countries in the world that are beginning to realize that human rights are human rights, no matter what group of people you're talking about. And it scares me that in this country right now, the courts, the legislatures, too many all over the map are going against basic human rights. Although a little bit happened in Florida recently, where protection for those with AIDS was upheld by the legislature. I was actually surprised that it happened, but I was very glad that it did happen. And maybe that is something that we can build on, because right now in our country, we don't have the kind of interpretations of the Constitution through the courts that we would expect. I mean, some of it used to be called settled law is all of a sudden up for conversation and debate again. No, it's not. No, it should not be. And it all comes down to who we put in office, I think, which means that we have to ensure that our ability to vote is not hindered in any way, shape, or form, so that we can follow our brothers and sisters from Kenya and do the correct thing.
Right. The Kenyan court said that not doing this would expose the petitioners to harassment, forced disclosure of private information, difficulty in accessing essential services. What the Kenyan court has done is seen the humanity in people. They're following the law, and they're seeing the humanity in people not having these services. It could be life, endangering. That could really be a problem for them. They got to have it.
I think, of a place like this, of all places like this, that they are really taking their constitutional laws and enhancing them to be more welcoming and embracive and inclusive. And I think that's just kudos to them for doing that, and for the High Court to take that up and not just dismiss it because of what other countries may or may not be doing, but like, this is us, this is who we are, and we want to be an example of what it means to see humanity, to see people, and to respect people's dignity for who they are and who they want to be. And so, certainly may that catch on in other places or reignite in other places. And I think so. As you look at it, it really expands what humanity is all about.
Yeah.
So well done, Kenya, Uganda, and Nigeria. Take a note. GOP, take a note. And that's today for the Queer God Squad. Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Please like and share this and other episodes of the Queer God Squad. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we're all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.